Thank you very much, Philip. Right, questions for Mr. Aldridge. Can you just raise your hand just so we know what we've got? All right. Let's start with you, sir.
Hi, Philip.
Hello, George.
As you know, there's actually a proposal that's been put forward called the Christchurch Arts Circus, which would be based around or use as a model the Tollwood Festival in Munich, which would be a temporary space but would be a way of essentially working out what the arts are in Christchurch with a long-term view. So it would be based in one area, it would be in Marquees. You would have a whole mixture of arts. You know, the whole point of it in some ways would be to cross over symphony orchestras with stand-up comedy, with the Eastern playing in one tent, and then you'd walk through and the court might be in the next. Then you'd have a dance troupe. You'd have Julia Milsom in another tent. You'd have really innovative performers from overseas come in, and I mean quite unusual things come in, and really as a chance to test what the arts are in Christchurch. At the centre of it, you'd have markets, you'd have bars, you'd have restaurants. I think the point would be that those markets, bars and restaurants, their rents would go towards subsidising the cultural life, up to about 70%.
All right, I just need to wrap this up, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's a proposal that's already on the table as probably fitting in with your view.
Yeah, and I think it's an excellent one too.
Okay, down the front, yes.
Could you tell me when the court is going to start working again?
Yes, indeed. Well, when I say yes, indeed, no. But I can tell you that we will be producing a show at the Aurora Centre in July. That's gone into rehearsal this week in Dunedin. We'll play a season at the Fortune Theatre in Dunedin, and then we'll come back to Christchurch as a co-production between the Court and the Fortune Theatre, and we'll play for about 10 days at the Aurora Centre. I can also tell you that very soon the Court will be in a position to make an announcement about what we will be doing on a much bigger scale as a temporary solution. In the long term, I think it's very, very important that the Court come back into the inner city. Obviously, that's not possible at the moment. But we are working on a scheme that would allow us to be up and running and to be getting back into production. More about that tomorrow.
Philip, if I can be so impertinent, do you believe the Court Theatre will return to the Arts Centre?
I don't know. It's really too early to say. We don't really know what's going to happen to the Arts Centre at all, and the length of the rebuild that's going to be needed at the Arts Centre is obviously of such a long period that the business model has probably been torn up. So I think it's impossible to answer that at the moment.
All right, I'll get you back up the stairs, Jenny. Keep going. Stop, turn left. Excellent.
Hello, Philip.
Hello, Luke.
There's been much talk amongst artists of all stripes about a major performing arts complex being built somewhere in the city.
Yep.
And I realise there's no specificity attached to this yet, and no one's in a position to make a specific call about it. But with your vision that you've outlined and the examples of the various major architectural sites that you've shown us in your presentation, can you talk about your vision for such a complex, like-minded versions in the world, New York, London, that you think might be a model for us?
Yes, I mean, I think we had that picture there of the Wales Millennium Centre, which it's got numerous galleries, it's got a stunning opera theatre, and a small, really very small black box theatre. And that building and complex, in its first phase, cost, at the time, 350 million Kiwi dollars in the first phase. I mean, you know, a keynote project like that is plainly not within our abilities. We have a performing arts centre, we have the town hall, and hopefully as a Grade 1 listed building, that will be rebuilt. What we've lacked in the city for years is mid-scale venues. And I think a performing arts centre based around those needs on a much more modest scale, you know, 400-500 seat theatre. Perhaps, and I think modular as well is a good way to go. I don't think we need to build. The problem with the arts and buildings is the buildings bring down arts companies. We need benign landlords, which is why the way that the Arts Centre was constructed and the Constitution arranged was a benign, benevolent relationship with the arts. And somewhere along the route, you know, that relationship has become confused. Now is an opportunity, I think, to revisit those principles, and at the Arts Centre itself, and also, I think, in a new centre for the arts, which might be modular. I don't think anything grand and nothing expensive, and it must be created so that the costs of those buildings are not a deterrent to the creation of art.
Okay, more questions. Okay, Jenny, I'll get you down here. We'll come over to the wings. What do you know about the Odeon Theatre, by the way? Have you heard any reports?
Well, apparently it came through tremendously well.
Yeah.
Is the ceiling down?
I haven't heard about the ceiling, but I heard it was still standing, which I thought was surprising.
This is an un-earthquake-proof building.
Yeah.
With a vast brick fly tower, which seems to have come through fine. Bizarre.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right.
Yeah, I'm really keen to see the development of a new performing arts centre, and I'd like to see you, Phillip, perhaps being an integral part of designing where that is going to be and not wasting any time in getting it started.
Oh, thank you. I'll get my drawing board out.
And yeah, thank you for allowing this platform for us to be able to talk about it, because it's essential for the life of the inner city.
It is, and I think that the arts have got a key role to play here in the regeneration of the inner city. You know, where we go, cafes and bars flourish. Life is there after dark. So the arts are absolutely essential, and how the arts are treated, I think, needs to be a beginning point for many of the considerations in the inner city.
All right, we've got time for one more. I thought I saw a hand go up over there. Was there a hand up over there? No? Okay. Anyone's through here? All right, Jenny, bit of a workout here. Run, woman, run. To the back.
Hello, Phillip. I'm really reassured to hear you address the issue about rents and costs. We're part of a small theatre company, and my concern when I hear public-private partnership is that people then have to make returns to shareholders.
Yes.
And rents rise.
Yep.
And some of the darling little cute places like the Nibelheim that we were just starting to work out of in the Arts Centre have gone. And so when I hear you talking about mid-size venues, I need to say we need small venues.
Yes, and small.
Because
absolutely.
that's where a lot of us really function
Yes.
well.
Yep.
And they're the audiences with a city this size that we can draw in. We can draw in 30 to 50 people.
I think, and that's the
And we're happy with that.
Sorry.
No, thanks.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that small is very, very important too. And I think that part of the idea of this public-private partnership is that it is public as well as private. There is a commercial return, but it is benign, and it needs to be designed in a way that benefits the community. So that if you have a Kiwi town, then it's full of small craftsmen and artist studios. I think small is beautiful.
All right, actually, I'll squeeze you in, sir. Up the stairs, Jenny. Lucky last.
Thank you, Phillip. Small is indeed beautiful until you come to the larger performing arts companies. And one of the things that the building of the Christchurch Town Hall did for the arts in Christchurch was to provide a focus place for the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra, the Christchurch Symphony Orchestra, and the big major cultural events that we've enjoyed over the years. So if it's true that we are going to be able to rebuild the town hall, that's great. If we've not, we've got another problem on our hands, and we actually have that problem on our hands now. We have nowhere in the city other than this place that 2,500 people can go to. So in the thinking, there is a huge need for a large performance space to bring the National Orchestra back into, to bring the National Ballet Company back into, and to allow our own large performing arts organisations to perform. So I'm sorry, it's not a question, it's a statement. We need to remember the big organisations in the
Absolutely.
region too.
Well, can I answer your statement? Yes, I completely agree. And I mean, I'm talking about medium size and small scale because I think that voice is not heard. I think the larger organizations and the great institutions, artistic institutions of the city, like the CSO and the museum and the art gallery and the court theatre, I think they will be the first to get our protection and our money. And quite rightly. I mean, I think the vision I have for the arts in this city is entirely pluralistic. We need all of those things and the others as well.
All right, on that note, Phillip, all the very best to the court and the wider arts community.
Thank you very much indeed.
Phillip Aldridge.